friends! Welcome to the Lawrence Public Library's Read Aloud series for World Read Aloud Day. I am Miss Anita, and I am going to be reading a book for 4th and 5th graders at Hillcrest Elementary. And it's okay if you're not part of Hillcrest Elementary, and if you just want to listen to the story, you are more than welcome to click on this link. So today we are going to be reading one of Joe Todd-Stanton's book from his series Brownstones Mythical Collection. So this collection is a collection of 3 books, and each of them have a main character that interacts with a mythical creature, which is a creature or a person or a belief that is part of a different culture that usually is a bit older than what a lot of people believe in now. But even though some people may not believe in them as much as they used to, there are still some people that might believe in this. So this one is entitled Marcy and the Riddle of the Sphinx, and it's a Flying Eye books. I love these book series because they're great for all ages, even though I'm reading for 4th and 5th grade. Because it is illustrated, people in 2nd grade can read it, and people in 12th grade can read it too. And not only that, adults like me can read it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading these books in 10-minute increments. So I'm going to start out with this one. Are you guys ready for an adventure? Let's go! Da-da-da. Look at how beautiful this is. Let me see. My bad, that is. Hello, dear reader, and welcome to the Brownstone Family's Observatory. Here we can survey the night sky, a thing which can be very scary and mysterious to some. One person who had this fear more than most was one of my ancestors, a girl by the name of Marcy Brownstone. Oh, we're being introduced to our protagonist. Look at how intricate and colorful this observatory is. And this man. How cool. He's the one speaking. He's our narrator. Her father, Arthur, was a great explorer who had saved his village from a terrible beast when he was a young boy. Traveling the world, he discovered ancient secrets and collected wondrous artifacts. Until one day, he met another adventurer. Together they moved to a small town, and Marcy was born soon after. What a collection of adventures. Does this make you think of any adventures that you guys have been on? I'd love to hear about them. Every evening, Marcy loved to listen to the tales of her father's adventures. She never quite believed him. After all, he was very old and far too portly. But at night, everything changed. The creatures from her father's amazing tales turned into terrifying monsters in the shadows. Marcy felt utterly lost and alone in the dark. All she could do was close her eyes tight and wait for sunrise. Do you guys ever feel scared in the dark? I know I still do sometimes. One day, Arthur decided it was time for Marcy's first adventure. He knew that Marcy doubted his stories, so he took her deep into the forest to find an old friend. As the day wore on, Marcy started to worry that they wouldn't find their way back in the dark. Arthur pointed up to the sky and told her that the North Star would always guide them home, no matter how dark it was. Finally, they reached the entrance of a cave, and Marcy froze in fear. Evil-looking shadows climbed the walls, and she refused to go any further. Would you go further? Hurt that Marcy didn't trust him, and hoping she might follow him, Arthur ventured into the cave alone. So do you think Marcy doesn't trust her dad, or do you think it's more about her being really fearful of the dark? What do you think? Arthur had wanted to show Marcy the most incredible sight, but she didn't appear, and Arthur had to turn back. On the walk home, Arthur was very quiet, and Marcy was sure he was disappointed in her. If she couldn't go into a stupid dark cave, then maybe she wasn't an adventurer at all. Maybe she wasn't even a real brownstone. The next day, Marcy found a note from her father. Her mother said it was nothing to worry about, but Marcy didn't feel happy at all. The note said, "Dear Marcy, gone away on urgent business. We'll be back soon." Soon is underlined. Love, Dad. XXX. First, let's return to an earlier part of the story. What in the world? Look at this magnificent waterfall organism. It looks like it has the type of mustache that one of the characters in Kung Fu Panda has. You've seen him. How would you feel if you were Marcy right now? Like, what else would you feel aside from not happy? Maybe sad, maybe upset, maybe wondering if he left because she disappointed him, or maybe not. A whole week went by, and Marcy was so worried that she snuck into her father's study. Hidden under the piles of papers and old artifacts, Marcy found Arthur's journal. It showed that her father must have gone to Egypt to find an old book trapped in the belly of the Sphinx. Oh no! Her father had trouble just bending over when he dropped his glasses. Marcy would have to help him, somehow. Just then, she noticed the magical feathers of Windweaver tucked into the brim of her father's old hat. Arthur had told her that carrying a feather from this mighty bird would grant someone help in a time of need. Marcy smiled and put it on. You think she's gonna go to Egypt? Let's see. Oh my goodness! A bird came to her aid. Aid means helping someone. That's why you call a first aid kit aid, because you are helping someone heal or get better. Feeling a little braver already, Marcy climbed out of the study window where Windweaver was waiting for her. She felt her chest tighten as they swooped into the air and began the long journey towards Egypt and the Sphinx. I really hope she brought some snacks. I would be hungry on that trip. Whoa. She's crossing so many lands and... Did she fall? Oh my goodness. She's okay. Marcy landed at the feet of a strange creature sitting on a massive throne. "I am Thought, god of knowledge and the moon. I know who you are, little girl. Your father was foolish enough to enter the Sphinx in the hope of getting my book. It seems he wanted to help you with the fear of the dark. You see, whoever possesses my book will understand all the mysteries of the world." One thing I want to note is that just like in a lot of other cultures and religions, traditional Egyptian religion believed that there were multiple gods and goddesses, and each god and goddess had its own gig. It had its own thing that it did. So this one is a god of knowledge and the moon, and you're going to see other goddesses as we flip through the book, which I think is pretty cool. But like many before him, he underestimated its dangers. Only if you can solve the Sphinx riddle, enter the tome, overcome my traps, and defeat the snake can you free your father. That is a lot to ask for a young girl, or a young kiddo in general. Wow. He is in the belly of the dirt, trapped in a snake, or by one, my bad. Marcy was far too scared to enter the dark tome and begged Thought to release her father. Perhaps there is something you could do for me. The sun god Ra has two magical eyes. One holds the power of the moon, and the other the sun. Bring me his moon eye, and I will free your father. Follow the horizon until you see a light shining through the stars. It will be Ra, sailing his sunboat. Don't come back until you have his moon eye. With Thought's words ringing in her ears, Marcy wandered through the desert towards the horizon. Suddenly, she saw what looked like a shooting star. It was getting bigger and bigger. Do you see it? Marcy had to act quickly. And just click part 2 of this video and we will finish the rest of the book, okay?